Good morning, friends, and welcome to another class. In today's lesson, we will be looking at building blocks of matter. So, let's start. There are three main building blocks of matter. So, the first building block, we have atoms. The second building block, we have ions. Then the third, we have molecules. So, at this point, we are going to look at each of these building blocks. So, let's start with atoms. So, what are atoms? Atoms are simply units, elements. What does this statement mean? So, let's draw an element. So, we use this diagram to represent an element. This element is made up of units. So, let's divide this element into units. In this case, we have 6 units that join together to form the element. Let's call this element hydrogen element. So now, what it means is that the unit of hydrogen element will be hydrogen unit. So these hydrogen units, which we call atoms, join together to form the hydrogen element. So simply put, atoms are the building blocks of elements. That's what they are. It's as simple as that. Let's look at the next building block of matter. So the next building block will be ions. So let's look at ions. What are they? Ions are simply atoms, but then they are atoms with charges. So we define ions as charged atoms. Very simple. And of course, wherever you have a charge, the charge can either be a positively charged particle, or the charge can be positive, can also be negative, which means that we have positively charged atoms and negatively charged atoms. Whenever we have positively charged atoms, the ions involved are called cations, and negatively charged atoms are called anions. We'll be looking at how ions are formed in details in another video. But today, what I need you to understand here is that ions are one of the building blocks of matter, and they are charged atoms, and they can either be cations or anions. They are cations when their charges are positive, and they are anions when their charges are negative. Let's move on to the next building block of matter. So we'll be looking at molecules. The question is, what are they? Molecules are formed when you have several atoms joined together. So you have an atom joined to another atom, joined to another atom, will form a molecule. It's as simple as that. Let's look at an example. So you can take the atom sodium, join to another atom chlorine. This will form sodium chloride. So the sodium chloride is a molecule. Another example, let's take the atom hydrogen plus another hydrogen. This will form H2, hydrogen gas, which is also a molecule. However, there is a big difference between this molecule, sodium chloride, and the molecule H2. The difference is that sodium chloride is also a compound. However, H2 is not. And the reason is very simple. Anytime molecule formation result from two different atoms, in this case you realize that you have sodium joined with chlorine. The sodium and the chlorine are different, so they form that molecule sodium chloride. And as a result, that particular molecule is also a compound. Now, for H2, it is not a compound because the atoms that led to the formation are of the same kind. So we have hydrogen and another hydrogen joined together to form H2. So H2 is not a compound. So note the difference between these two molecules. We have molecules that are formed from different atoms. They are also compounds. We have molecules that are formed from the same kind of atoms. They are not compounds. What this means is that all compounds are also molecules, but then not all molecules are compounds. Please think about this statement carefully and try and remember it. Now, let's illustrate what we've just learned using a diagram. So, we're going to illustrate what we have just learned. So, let's take the human body as an example. Now, human body is matter. In fact, anything that exists on the surface of this earth, including the human body, is matter. Air, everything, absolutely everything that exists is matter. Now, when you take the human body contains, if it's matter, then its building block should be an atom. One of them should be an atom. When you go into the human body, you have calcium in there. Calcium is an atom. Our bones are full of calcium. Again, you can have sodium in there. You can also have chlorine in there. You can even have magnesium. These are all atoms you find in the human body. And of course, wherever you find atoms, you are almost likely going to find ions. So the human body also has ions. And it's because, for example, the human body, we are about 70+% water or aqueous solution. And these atoms dissolve in the aqueous solution to form the ions. So if you have calcium atom, you should have calcium ion. You should have sodium ion, chlorine ion, and you should even have magnesium ion as well. Now, ions, we've learned that the moment they join together, or when atoms join together, they form molecules. So in the same matter human body, you can have a molecule such as sodium chloride. Yes, we have sodium chloride, a lot of it in us. You can even have magnesium chloride in us. Then you can even have calcium chloride in us. So a simple human body, which is a matter, contains atoms, ions, and molecules, which are the building blocks of the matter. in this case, the human body. So, guys, I believe that will bring us to the end of today's class. And I would urge you to subscribe to the channel if you've not already done that. And please share the video to your friends. And make sure you give me a thumbs up. You need to encourage me to do more of these videos. You take very good care of yourselves. Until we meet again in the next video. Bye.